If you have struggled building a fitness habit that lasts, you've tapped on the right video. In the next few minutes, I'm going to talk about the 5 most common reasons why people are not walking for fitness, not walking for exercise. And if this is you, I'm also going to talk about things you can do starting today to change that. Hi, I'm Dave. It's important for you to know that I'm not a doctor. I'm not a licensed personal trainer. I'm simply a guy who's passionate about walking. Since 2013, I've averaged about 19,000 steps a day. And for almost 3 years now, I've done a podcast, Walking is Fitness. Every day there's a new 10-minute episode to encourage and motivate you to get out the door and take a walk. And I'm not in a studio saying you should walk now. Every episode is recorded while I'm out walking. So essentially, we're taking a walk together. And let's do that right now. Talk about the 5 most common reasons why people are not walking as a fitness activity. And I want to take one off the table. If the answer to that question, why aren't you walking more, is because I can't walk or it's too painful to walk, again, I'm not a doctor. I don't want to get outside my lane and offer you advice. Please go see a professional. But if you have the ability to walk, the 5 most common reasons, and we're going to start with number 1, and I actually believe this is number 1. This probably would be the top answer to the question, why aren't you walking more? Why aren't you walking as a fitness activity? And that's, just didn't think about it. Never considered it. I call this the Ted Lasso effect. So Ted Lasso, the TV show that won just about every Emmy imaginable, it got rave reviews. I had people in my life who loved the show, even said, you know what, you should watch Ted Lasso. I had a subscription to Apple TV, saw Ted Lasso every time I was going to look for something to watch, and yet, quite frankly, just never thought about it, never considered tapping on the icon and watching it, until one day I did. And within 10 minutes, I was hooked. Binge watched every episode, and it is now one of my all-time favorite TV series. But for years, I never even considered it. Just never even thought about it. Now, maybe you actually are walking as a fitness activity, and you're watching this video more out of curiosity, what's Dave going to say, but you know someone that you would love to see them start walking for exercise, to start walking as a fitness activity. And maybe what they need is simply an invitation. They've just never thought about it. And so you could invite them, hey, let's go take a walk. And that might just be what they need to get started. So that's reason number 1, never thought about it. Reason number 2, why aren't you walking more? Why aren't you walking for exercise? The answer, I don't think it's very effective. I just don't think it's effective. And I think there are 2 reasons for this answer. 1, there are still a lot of people who don't believe that walking is exercise. And let's be honest, a lot of walking is not exercise. It needs some intentionality and some intensity to become exercise. But there is a ton of research that looks at the effectiveness of walking as a fitness activity. You can lower the risk of an early death. You can lower the risk of heart disease, of certain types of cancer, of dementia, type 2 diabetes. You can use walking as a way to manage stress, to lower anxiety. Lots of research backing up the effectiveness of walking as exercise. And then I think there's also another subset of this, it's not effective, and that's because maybe you've tried it and it didn't work. I walked 10,000 steps every day for 2 weeks, didn't lose any weight. In fact, I gained weight. The power of exercise is the consistency. Doing it for a long time, not in short bursts. I think a lot of times when we dive into exercise, we have something we want to change, we're highly motivated, and we're expecting this great transformation to happen quickly, and it doesn't. And we lose that motivation, and then we just say, it's not working. Doesn't work. So I believe that would be reason number 2. I don't think it's effective, even though there's a ton of research indicating that it actually is. Reason number 3, I don't have time. I am busy, my schedule is full, I don't have time. And I understand for some, there literally is no time for exercise. But I think most of us have a little bit of time in our schedule where we get to make the choice what we do. And I think the reality is, for those of us with really busy schedules, we've got that 30 minutes, maybe an hour every day where we get to choose to do what we want, and it's something that we enjoy. We don't want to give that up for something that we don't think we're going to enjoy, something that's hard, something that is painful. And so when we say, I don't have time, that's probably what most of us are referring to. I don't want to make that switch. Something that I enjoy doing for something that I'm probably not going to enjoy doing. So that's answer number 3. Answer number 4 would be either fear or what I would call emotional pushback. Maybe for you, where you live is just not a safe place to walk. And so that's the reason why you're not walking more, because it just doesn't feel safe. Got a street sweeper here that's making a lot of noise. I'll let that get past. And so you don't feel safe, or it's what I would call emotional pushback. You feel awkward. You feel uncomfortable. You wonder what others are going to think. Or it's exercise, so there's going to be some discomfort, and you just aren't looking forward to that. You don't want that. And so there's some emotional pushback. So that would be answer number 4. And then number 5, maybe you've considered walking. That's why you tapped on this video. You believe it can be effective. It can actually change your life. You have some time in your schedule, or you're willing to find some time, and you're willing to push through the emotional discomfort, maybe even some fear that you're feeling. But for you, the reason is, the answer is, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to get started. Job number 1, priority number 1 for any form of exercise is to build the habit. Again, the power in exercise isn't the short bursts. It's the long consistency. Day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. Job number 1 is to build the habit. Don't start with 10,000 steps. Don't start with a 30-minute walk. Start with a 10-minute walk every day. And maybe even that's too much. How about 5 minutes? How about 1 minute? You build the routine of walking to the end of the driveway and back. Or if you live in an apartment or a condo, you open the door and you walk to the end of the hallway and back. You're building the habit. You're establishing the routine of exercise. And then over time, as that habit is established, you're getting stronger. Stronger physically, stronger emotionally, stronger mentally, and you're able to do more. You want to do more. You're starting to enjoy the walk. You feel better while you're walking. You feel better when you're done the walk. I want to invite you to check out my podcast, Walking is Fitness, because every day there's a brand new episode, 10 minutes long, to help you build a fitness habit that lasts. I'll offer some encouragement, some motivation, I'll tell some stories, and make it fun, because we're taking a walk together. And that's really how you get started. Now, maybe you do live in an area where it's not safe. You can walk inside. You can walk in your house. You can walk in your apartment, your condo. I love the story of a woman in her 70s named Jessica, who was diagnosed with, she was a pre-diabetic, and her doctor said, you need to make some changes. Jessica was afraid to go outside and walk. So every day she walked 3,000 steps in her apartment, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Over time, she lost 120 pounds and stopped the diabetes, the pre-diabetes in its tracks, and turned that around. Walk where you can, where it feels safe, and walk for a short amount of time every day to create that habit. Again, the name of the podcast, Walking is Fitness. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you have a great day.